Hello everyone, I'm Rhonda R coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. April is observed in the Virgin Islands and worldwide as Child Abuse Awareness Month. I am joined by a number of queens in the Virgin Islands who are celebrating and observing Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, as well as raising advocacy and awareness on this very important matter. They are beginning with the lovely Miss Daria Donovan, the BVI Princess 2025, and Miss Junior BVI, Chanecia Pinnock, who is the Miss Junior BVI 2024. We're going to have a quick discussion and get their point of view after a quick commercial break. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, we are having a discussion on child abuse prevention and advocacy, a discussion with queens. Today, I am joined by the lovely Daria Donovan, the 2024-2025 BVI Princess, and Miss Chanecia Pinnock, 2024 Miss Junior BVI Queens. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to our platform.
Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. BVI Princess 2024. Daria, I want to begin with you. I want you to tell us your personal message about the importance of kindness, respect, and a safe environment for children.
Kindness, respect, and safety is every child's right. So I think we can work together to make every child feel wanted in their environment.
Wonderful. I want to also ask you, how can children support each other? How can they support their peers?
Children can support their peers by listening attentively and having kindness and showing empathy to those who are facing challenges.
Wonderful. Now, Miss Junior BVI, tell us about the role of young adults. You are a young adult yourself. You're entering into that phase.
Yes.
What would you say is the importance of your age group in raising awareness among peers about the abuse prevention?
Yes. I believe that young people, we have so much power. We are so powerful because we see each other after school, sports practice, classmates. We can tell when we are not acting the same, change behavior, mood swings. And it's okay to ask a simple question. Hi, I realize there's a change in behavior. And it's okay for you to speak up because everyone deserves to be heard and everyone deserves to have someone to feel safe to talk to.
And in feeling safe, tell us about the importance of building trust, not only with adults, but among peers.
Yes, trust. Trust is, it doesn't grow overnight. It doesn't. It's built through consistency, care, and support. And those are very important because some children feel like if they go to an adult, they will feel like it's their fault because they let that issue happen to them. And it's okay to speak up because, as I said, everyone deserves to be heard and it will be a great thing for them to go and talk about.
Thank you very much for sharing. Before I let you ladies go, I want to just ask you, what would you say to the public just about child abuse prevention? What would your message be overall?
My message about child abuse, like the topic?
Correct.
Okay.
Child abuse prevention.
Prevention. I would say just speak up. Don't be afraid to talk. Because people might be going through the same thing you're going through as well. And you can share your story. And you can also let people know that you're not alone. And also, as the trust, I was also saying that parents should also realize that they need to start listening with love and not judgment.
Well said. Thank you so much for saying that. Daria, anything from you as it pertains to just letting the public be aware of child abuse prevention?
As Chanecia said, that I feel that you should tell a trusted adult, and you should also talk to someone about how you are feeling.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you both so much for coming and speaking your truth and raising awareness on this topic. I know both of you will continue to do as much as you can during your reign to bring awareness to this topic overall. So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. Welcome.
You're most welcome. Viewers, you heard it here first from the BVI Princess 2024, the lovely Daria Donovan, along with Miss Junior BVI 2024, Chanecia Pinnock, giving their perspective on child abuse prevention and advocacy. Of course, a discussion with queens after this commercial break. We're going to be joined by another queen as well as a guidance counselor from the Elmore Stoutt High School. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As we mentioned previously, we are having a conversation with queens on child abuse prevention and advocacy. We are joined by another queen along with a guidance counselor from the Elmore Stoutt High School, Mrs. BVI Globe 2024, Ms. Rhonda Pinnock, and Mr. Jacob Edwards of the Elmore Stoutt High School. Welcome back to both of you. You're no strangers to the platform.
Thank
but most importantly, thank you for your time. As we were discussing with the previous queens, very important because they are perhaps of the age that are most susceptible to child abuse. And you could correct me if I'm wrong as we go along. But it was interesting to hear their perspective on varying matters such as kindness, respect, and most importantly, trust building. Mrs. BVI Globe, Ms. Pinnock, you have been championing this cause, and most importantly in April, you have decided to make sure that the awareness is heightened. Tell us about the importance and the need for such level of advocacy.
Okay, before you begin, thank you, Ron, for having us here. So during my reign 2024, Mrs. BVI Globe, my platform was domestic violence / gender-based violence. So when I noticed that the month of April, we celebrate or highlight Child Abuse Prevention Month, I said, what an opportunity to continue with the platform with my supporters, WIN BVI, who's one of our main supporters, and Unite BVI. So it's very important that we don't forget our commitment as adults, as caregivers, as parents to handle the situation, these pervasive issues that affects the most vulnerable in our society, and that is our children.
Absolutely. Mr. Jacobs, you of course work with students of varying age demographics, but what are some of the prevention strategies that you would say we as a community, as parents, could use?
Well, I mean, again, thank you, Ron, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here supporting this cause. I mean, Ron, in our territory, there's different issues and factors that produce this energy where our children are being affecting negatively. You understand? So we have to be really, really adamant on what we want to see change when it comes to our children getting better treatment, not just from their parents, but even the society and the environment that they are in. So some of the coping strategies that I, myself, and even others, you have to make a safe place for that child to actually come and speak to you about what's going on, first and foremost. So your approach, Ron. How do you approach a child that is struggling at home, struggling at school, being neglected? How do you do that? You create a safe space. You approach them in a way where you let them know, hey, I'm not here to harm you. I'm not here to add that stress or that strain upon what you're dealing with at this point. So as parents, as even leaders, and even us as a community, we have to be vigilant and we have to discern when these things are going on. We like to say that we live in a small community, and a lot of us don't like our business to be out there. But as the Queen said, our children are the most vulnerable in our society, and we have to do what we have to do to make sure that they are safe. So first of all, your approach. Let them know it's okay to talk to me about it, to talk to us about it. You're being neglected, you're being abused. Don't be afraid. That's the first step. When they open up to you now, you said the early queens that was here, they spoke about trust. And trust is very important. That's an issue that we're having in today's world, confidentiality. If I say, Ron, I'm being abused by my mom, what do? You don't pick up the phone and call Tom, Dick, and Harry and say, girl, boss, I hear so and so. No. We have to create those ways, those safe places where all students or children can feel that they could talk about what they're dealing with, so they will get the proper help that they need. So you have to deal with the approach. You have to create the safe space so they can let you know what's going on. And after that, you make the report so they will get the necessary help, whether it's to social development, juvenile department, so things can be on the ball. You understand? So that's the first set of steps you take.
I want to talk about seeking help. Ms. Pinnock, what would you say are some of the areas available, resources available locally for persons, or children rather, who may be experiencing any form of child abuse? Because of course there are varying forms of child abuse, which we're going to get into. But what are some of the resources that you are aware of that are really available, agencies that could help?
There are many resources that are available to assist children or young teens or young adults who are being faced with this issue. We have social development. Also, I see during the month of April, they also have several awareness campaigns that are going on. So they are a good place to begin. We also have the Family Juvenile Department at the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. I know they have been advocating. They too have been raising awareness on this issue. We have the Mental Health Department there at the Dr. Orlando Smith Hospital. They too have been doing their part to shed light on this. And we have several organizations too, or institutions within the community. We have social institutions, we have religious institutions, we have educational institutions that also persons can go to seek help, and if they will wish more information on how to prevent this issue and how to curtail the effects that they have on our students, there is a community effort and collaboration even more now to assist young persons who are facing these issues, or even adults who may feel lost or maybe is a partaker in this abuse. There are programs so that can assist them to become a better version of themselves, so that they in turn are not raising hurt young people, because we know healed people raised healed persons. So therefore, there are many, many things out there that can assist in this, in making this.
I want to talk to you both about community involvement in really addressing the child abuse and shared responsibility. Mr. Edwards, you alluded to it early in your presentation, but just from both of you, how important is the community involvement in addressing various types of child abuse?
I mean, Ron, I think it's important that we educate the society on this issue. You know, there's a lot of things that we look at as taboo. You know, sex, drugs, and child abuse is also one that we are afraid to speak out about, because, again, we are a small knitted community. but is affecting us in a real huge way. And we have to educate the society on what this is really doing to our children. And not just, again, as the Queen alluded to, it's not just our children, but parents. It trickles down from parents, from the environment that we're in. Everything is connected, right?
Yes.
So we have to fill the gaps. So in terms for me, I think education should be on number one goal to help our society, to help the environment bloom into one that will be a safe haven. You understand? Because even as a counselor, a lot of students come to me about child abuse, mostly verbal, because again, the dynamics, the age dynamics, you understand? But at the same time, abuse is abuse, Ron, and we have to address it. So for me, I think it starts with education.
Okay.
All right. I like Mr. Edwards' input on that. For me, I would like to highlight the three P's, which are prevention, protection, and partnership. I alluded to partnership somehow earlier in my conversation where I spoke about different institutions that can come together and help to bring awareness to this issue, where we have, for example, Unite BVI, as I mentioned earlier, they're one of my major sponsors who are on board wholeheartedly and with BVI to help persons who are going through this, help young adults, help parents, help caregivers to assist students, and not only to assist them, but to help them prevent it so that it does not happen again. And it's not being passed on from generation to generation, because we know certain behaviors are learned. And therefore, I would not say no fault of the abuser, no fault of the abused, that they pass on this behavior to their children, and it's passed on from one generation to the next. So it is important that Mr. Edwards said education is key. So that's where we have the partnership, the community effort. Protecting our children again. Sometimes they need a voice, they need an outlet, and there's nowhere that they can turn to. The young queens earlier also spoke about having someone to speak to, being comfortable, having trust, that you can go to someone and say, hey, this is happening and something is being done. And then we have prevention, where it's not passed on from one generation to the next. We're coming together, working together with a common goal in mind to end this issue, raise awareness to it so that we all know when we see it that this is happening. And you said earlier, Ron, child abuse is not only verbal. That's what we can see, that's what we hear, that's what we can witness, but it goes very deep at times when it's emotional, when they're broken, when they are crippled by the things that are being said or done to them, and therefore they become a shell of themselves. They do not trust who they are unsure of who they are, and therefore they're not performing to the fullest, and therefore they become adults too, who are broken, who are separated from families, who are not performing as they should or living up to their full potential. So this issue is very, very important, and education needs to be done, as Mr. Edwards mentioned earlier.
And just to add to that, again, we don't want the cycle to continue. That's what we don't want, Ron.
Yes.
You understand? It's very important for us as leaders, as the community, you understand, and even as educators, and even as parents, to understand what are we going to do, what are our roles in making sure that the gaps are dealt with, so our children can have a better life when it comes to them being themselves, expressing themselves. You understand? Because that's what we want, especially for the young queens and kings out there that want to be somebody with substance. But how can I be that person if I'm going through something that a lot of people don't know?
Understood.
You understand?
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking the time out to speak and, as you said, raise awareness on this. It's going to take an entire community, even outside of the month of April. This is a continuous topic that is necessary as we go along. So thank you both for stopping by. And of course, I want to extend thanks to the previous queens, Miss Chanecia Pinnock, Miss Junior BVI 2024, along with the lovely Miss Daria Donovan, for also sharing their perspective on this very important issue.
I also would like to add, Ron, that we must not only be mandated reporters, but mandated supporters, where we support the students, support the young people, support the teens who are faced with such issues. And I want to mention on the 26th of April, at the end of this month, again, we have community collaboration, where we collaborated with Hike BVI to make it a sponsored hike for children, for young people, and parents are also invited. Come along as we hike to raise awareness for child abuse prevention. So more information will be coming up. Please look up for flyer on the Win BVI Facebook page and our Win BVI Instagram page. The hike will be done at Bamboo Meadows at 7 a.m. So this is on the 26th of April 2024, 7 a.m. We will meet at the Mount Healthy National Park. So children, students, come out in numbers, bring your parents, and let's wear blue, because we have the spin wheel, which is blue for the symbol of Child Abuse Prevention Month, which represents hope. So let's come out and raise awareness as we hike in the BVI to bring more light and education to this issue.
Wonderful. Again, thank you so much, viewers. That is all the time we have. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Goodbye.